Other things that other lawyers emphasize is that um, you when you're in law school, you need to be ready to be competitive, like I emphasized before, and make sure you don't procrastinate because if you do, it's going to kill you. Um, because for me myself, I've struggled with procrastination a lot, but I have gotten better. But I just know that if I eventually will go into law school, um, there's no dilly dallying. You need to focus all of your effort into into law school. Um, and so if you do this, if you do well in the classes, you will graduate from law school, and then after that, um, the graduates will have to take what's called the bar examination, which is admitted by or is distributed by the bar itself for each jurisdiction, for each by state. And if you pass this test, which is fairly similar to the LSAT, but again, it's more on stuff that you've learned in law school. Um, and so basically, if you pass the bar exam, you will receive you'll receive credit and you will be able to practice law, um, according to which jurisdiction you took the bar exam to. So the next step is basically start practicing law. And this is probably one of the toughest steps of your legal career is the very beginning. Because once you graduate from law school, once you pass the bar exam, you need to put yourself out there. So there could be a possibility that as you were going through law school, you have worked at a law firm, for example. You were a clerk, you were a legal assistant. You if you have that relationship with a law firm, then they may add you as an associate or a partner. But if not, then you're gonna have to find a law firm that is suited for you. And so that is a very difficult challenge that many people face, especially when you first start practicing law and you first start engaging in depositions and in other aspects of it. Um, it's all extremely new to you, even though you know how it works. When you start doing it in real life, it's very daunting. So once you get so I the reason I asked a bunch of lawyers about this and what are some essential characteristics that lawyers need to have in order to become successful. Because if you just do your daily routine and you just talk to clients, interpret the law, explain the reasoning behind it, unfortunately, even though you might win some cases, you're not going to get much out of it. Um, and so, some important characteristics that all people or all lawyers need to have is they first of all need to be skilled at writing, because writing, like I said earlier, what Kristen talked about is that writing is probably one of the most important characteristics that a lawyer needs, because everything is based on writing. You are because if you, for example, if you're writing a letter to the other party talking about your case, and if you mess up on a word or if you write in a way that might possibly benefit the other side, the whole case might get blown up. So it is really important to know how to write effectively, but you also need to write in detail and know how to persuade your audience to believe you. And also, too, lawyers need to be, again, a good advocate as well for their assigned client or organization. One great quote that Joe Joyce had, what I like to emphasize is he said that you need to be a good communicator in order to be a good lawyer. Because if lawyers do not know how to communicate, if they are just going through the motions and things change right before their eyes. For example, in a trial where some evidence gets brought up that they were not aware of, lawyers need to know how to adjust to that. And not only adjust, but adjust quickly. And they need to communicate what the evidence that they have and what they're trying to say, or what their client is trying to say, to the jury or to the judge or to the administrator or whoever they're talking to. They need to communicate it effectively. And if they do that effectively, then they will win a lot more cases and in that way. And also too, again, you need to be very competitive. I just remember after talking to, it was particularly Jessica, and they said that there are a lot of jerk lawyers out there. There's a lot of lawyers who are there to attack you. They might personally attack you, but you need to have thick skin. You need to learn to basically roll with the punches and be determined to help out your client and not get upset if they personally attack you, because there are some lawyers who use personal attacks to basically take down your guard. And so lawyers need to know how to disregard that and keep their eyes on the prize. And also too, to go with being a strong advocate, lawyers need to have a passion and desire in helping their client. Because of course, when Rick started talking about the subpoena power, they have that power to be an advocate and seek out the truth. And because of this power that they have, they should take it seriously, and they should really try to help out their client. Because if their client is struggling, or if they, for example, if their client is struggling financially and they got involved in a car accident and they're not able to pay their bills, you have that power to change their life. You have that power to say that the other side is wrong, and this is why my client should receive this amount of money, which will change their life for the better. And also, lawyers need to be confident as well, because when you're in trial, jurors can see through this. If you're nervous, jurors and officials and judges will know that you're nervous. And with that, if they see that you're nervous, they know that your case and your arguments are not that strong. But if you're confident and you know what you're talking about and you have that desire to help out your client, then the jurors will see how strong your argument is, and the desire is behind that, and they would want to join you. So these are just a few things that lawyers need in order to become successful. Of course, there are plenty more, but these are just some things that these four attorneys have emphasized in there. But of course, because there are some benefits, or there are some good characteristics that you do need to become a lawyer, there are also plenty of challenges as well. I have talked about some of these challenges so far in this, especially about having thick skin and it being and being thrown into a competitive environment. But there are also some other challenges that lawyers face every day. One, which could be a huge deal breaker for many people who are wanting to become a lawyer, is that the hours that they would have to dedicate to their work is extensive. People are working 40 plus hours a week, 40, maybe even 50 hours a week, including weekends, preparing for trial, preparing for other cases, and communicating with so many different clients and insurance companies and medical providers and the third parties, and there's just a lot of work that has to be done, and that's not including all the writing that has to be done as well. So you need, if you're looking to become a lawyer, just remember that you are going to be putting in a lot of work for this. It will eventually be paid off, but just remember that there is going to be a lot of things you're going to have to sacrifice, especially with family. Growing up in a household where my mother was an attorney, it was difficult for her to take me to school every day, and it was difficult for her to teach me a lot of things when I was little, just because she was working a lot. So luckily, my grandma was there to help me out with it, but it's just very difficult for lawyers to balance their work with their family life, or with their social life, or with other aspects of their life. So just keep that in mind if this is something that you would like to do. And just know that, again, one big challenge that lawyers do face is the competition, and there's a lot of different personalities that's in the legal field. Different lawyers argue in different ways. Some lawyers are a lot more harsh. Some lawyers are a lot nicer, and they want to become your friend. But other lawyers, they're your enemy, and they will do all that they can to prove that your point in cases are wrong. So you need to stay focused and remember to not take this personally, but just remember and focus on your case, and do all you can to justify what you have. Also, too, some challenges that some lawyers do face is what Rick emphasized. This is staying disciplined, because there's times where you're working on 100 cases at a time. It's hard to have and keep that discipline, and to establish a personal and caring relationship with all your clients, because sometimes you may think of clients as just a number, but it's just really important to remember that these people, these clients that you're helping, their lives will be changed if you stay disciplined, if you have this desire. So that's another big challenge that lawyers do face. Another one is just because of the long and extensive work hours. The legal field is very high stress. There's a lot of numbers and a lot of information being thrown at you. There's a lot of reading, a lot of writing, and also too, the responsibility is really big as well. That if you make a mistake, someone's life might be affected negatively for that. They might lose a lot of money, and you have to be prepared to lose, because you will lose. Everyone does lose eventually, because no one's perfect. No one has a winning record in the legal field. So hopefully I didn't scare you with all those challenges that lawyers face every day, because clearly there are a lot of challenges, but there are also some major benefits and great responsibilities and amazing experiences that lawyers do have if they choose to basically practice law. So the question that I asked all of the attorneys, because they've been working for 30 plus years, others they've just started. I asked them, why should I become a lawyer? Because I think this is a very good question to ask, because there's a lot of people out there who are still trying to determine for themselves why they want to become a lawyer.